Welcome to episode 52 of KinFit. I'm Michael.
I'm Tiffany, and today is a cool spring morning in Montreal, and we are filming at the Lachine Canal.
In front of the new Red Path Lofts.
And it's still kind of cold, so let's get on to Fit News. So what's going on in Fit News this week?
Well, a recent article from the New York Times examined why sitting all day at work is still pretty bad for you whether or not you exercise or not. So they compared two groups, a group of people who sat mostly at work all day and another group that stood all day at work, and both groups who exercised on a regular basis. And they found that the group that sat all day at work actually negated some of the benefits that they got from the workout.
Wow.
Yeah, but it wasn't just the physical part, it was also the physiological part. So the parts of your body that actually helps in the fat burning process was also affected if you sat all day at work.
Okay, so what are we supposed to do about this?
So if you do sit all day at work, it is recommended that you do take your breaks, and when you do take your breaks, to walk around the office from time to time, not just sit around and let's say do your stretches, but to also just get up, move around, and then go back to work.
And I think that helps quite a bit.
Yes, it does.
All right, so on my end, new research has shown as well, high fructose diets can aggravate liver disease. So if you're already suffering from liver disease and you have high intakes of stuff like soft drinks, sweetened beverages, stuff like that contain high glucose fructose, may make the liver disease even worse. So not the most new news, I suppose, not very surprising, I should say, but it's also something else that we should be very aware about. Yes.
And last little bit of news I want to talk about is if you ever suffered from back pain or know someone that's suffering from back pain, I want to recommend a site for you. It's called back.com. It's a very informative site. It talks about all the different types of back pain that you can suffer from. Shows treatment plans, diagnosis. They also have a bunch of articles that you can read. Frequently asked questions, a page where you can look up questions that people may have asked. And they also have a page where you can see the anatomy of the back as well. Now this is just a resource, okay? If you do want to know more information about back pains, this is definitely a really good site for you to check out. However, it does not replace a doctor or a health professional, so if you are suffering or know someone that's suffering from back pain, it's still recommended that you see a health professional first and just use this website as a good site for information.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
That'll be it for Fit News this week.
On this week's Fit Tip, we're going to talk about cardio. Now, we all pretty much have heard someone say, I have good or bad cardio, but what does that actually mean? Well, what they're actually referring to is their VO2 max. Now, VO2 max is your maximum oxygen uptake. It's how much oxygen your body can take in and distribute to the working muscles so that you can do an aerobic activity for a long duration and not feel tired very quickly. Now, a question that I hear or get asked most often is, what type of cardio should I be doing to get the most benefits? Which is the better cardio, especially for those of you who work in a gym, who work out in a gym. They often ask me, which machine should I choose? The Stairmaster, the rower, the bike, or the treadmill? And same goes for people who do exercise outdoors. What should I do? Inline skating, biking? Well, there's actually no right or wrong answer to that, because you still get the same benefits regardless of what type of cardiovascular activity you do. Unless you actually train for a specific sport, doesn't really matter whether you run on a treadmill or you go on a bike. It's all really up to your preference, your choice. Choose what you want to do, enjoy it, and you should get a good workout of it. Now, the effectiveness of a good cardio workout is dependent on intensity and duration. I usually generally recommend at least a minimum of 20 to 30 minutes to about an hour. Anything less than 20 minutes of cardio, it's not really considered cardio, but it's more of a warm-up to the cardio session. Intensity is very important as well, okay? You should always check your heart rate to see that you're working above resting, okay? But I generally wouldn't recommend you using the 220 minus your age method to determine whether or not you're working at a high enough intensity. The reason for that is because if you're in better shape, your predicted maximum heart rate may be higher than the prediction, and if you're not in shape, it might be below that, okay? If you're able to carry on a conversation during your workout, it means that your intensity is not high enough, but at the same time, don't go too high where you can't complete the minimum of 20 to 30 minutes. If you fail to finish the 20 minutes of cardio, it means you're going too intense. Now, like I said, it doesn't really matter what type of cardiovascular activity you choose, because in the end, your heart doesn't know can't tell a difference whether you're rowing or you're biking, but choose something you're able to do and that you prefer to do. So this wraps up this week's Fit Tip, and we'll see you next time.
So on today's Infoodmation, I'm going to talk a little bit about in-training refueling. So last time we talked about pre-workout fueling, and now we're going to talk about what you should be doing while you're training or in competition. So general rule is if you are competing or training under 90 minutes, water or sports drink should be enough for your energy needs. General rule is about every 20 minutes you should have at least about half a cup of fluids. Now if you are training more than 90 minutes, or you say you're in a playoff game and you're in overtime and you need a little bit of extra energy to get you through, it's suggested that you have a light snack plan, a fruit in between periods, or maybe even an energy gel or sports bar. So just to recap, you want to make sure you have fluids no matter what kind of training you're doing, and every 20 minutes you should be having about half a cup of water and or Gatorade. And if you are training more than 90 minutes, you want to make sure you have a light snack, which is a fruit, sports bar, or an energy gel. That'll be it for Infoodmation this week.
So this wraps up this week's episode of KinFit.
Please check back our show notes for all the information we want you to find out about.
And if you have any ideas, suggestions, or questions you want to ask us, just email them to us at info@kinfit.tv.
Big thank you goes out to Vincent for braving the cold with us today.
Yes, and now we're going to go and play in those giant flower pots behind us.
I think I'm going to get a hot chocolate.
Okay. So remember, don't quit.
Stay fit. Montreal, and we are filming at the Lachine Canal.
Actually, in front of the new Red Pot Laughs. I said Red Pot Laughs. Sort of KinFit.
Please check back our show notes for all the information we want you to find out more about.
And you have... No, okay. It sounds like you made a mistake. So this wraps up this week's episode of KinFit.
Please check back our show notes.
See what I mean? That's what I heard the first time too.
No. Show notes for all the pieces of information we want you to find out about.
And if you have any ideas, suggestions, or questions you want to ask us, just